Hello. That's funny. I actually have to do this for week 17 and 18 because for week 17, last Saturday I was on a road trip, so I couldn't really do it the whole week. So, anyways, um, this. Oops. Ups. So that was the best week I've ever had. Um, so 13-3. So last week, the before week, that okay. So stop. What is 145 plus 13? It is 158. And then what is 95 plus 3? 98. So I got my rate from 0.6 to 0.62 in just 1 week. That is very good. And the rate will go up even slightly more after week 18, which is good. So this is going to be fun. I'm wondering if I should put the entire playoffs on the same sheet, like the same thing. That's funny. I think I could fit the whole playoffs into one because there's not very many games. Like the whole playoffs consist of 14 games. So, but so week 18, week 18, week 18, and so unfortunately I couldn't give you. I mean, I can give you commentary on these, I guess. I don't know. Or just give you an idea of why I picked the teams or something for a few of them. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go through the ones that are as obvious again. Not again because I didn't last week because I was in the car. Okay. No, not Rams. And maybe also go through the ones that I lost and just react or say why I got the ball. Okay. And I probably could remember who I picked, but just to be safe, I made a screenshot. Oh, come on. So here, those were the teams I picked. Okay. After I type them all, I'll give you my reasoning for a few of them. Do the Patriots may have, like, they're probably going to end up being the team that I predicted incorrectly the most amount of times. Like, I predicted them to win way more games than they actually won. And then I predicted them to lose games, and then they won games out of nowhere. Like, I kept predicting them win until I finally realized they were terrible. And then I basically picked them to lose every game for the rest of the season. But then they, of course, won some random games. And then I picked them to win on the very last game of the season, and they lose. So they're probably going to end up with the worst in terms of, like, being predicted correctly. So now we'll go to the actual winner. Just to be sure. Steelers. Wait, I didn't. Did I give any commentary on week 18 or week 17? Yeah. Aha. Well, whoever's skipping through the video is completely screwed now. I guess I'll just react to the 3 that I messed up. So, the Bears beat the Falcons. Okay. That one I thought at the time it was like a 50-50 game. But I just kind of underestimated the Bears in that one. But of course I had to go overestimate the Bears the very next week. The Bears might be one that I also failed to predict quite a bit throughout the season. Yep, that was not any commentary at all whatsoever. So, yeah, the Buccaneers ended their winning streak by losing to the Saints. And then, of course, nobody could have predicted this one. Because, yeah, was that even worth it to go through that? I said basically nothing. Why do I even try? So that one I picked the Steelers because I knew the Ravens were resting their starters, but the Steelers weren't. So that was good. I picked that one. Okay, that was just an upset right there. And then, man, I'm so frustrated that I picked the Patriots on this. Okay, so my reasoning for that was like the Patriots weren't actually that bad for the last several weeks because they won a few of their games, and then the games they lost, they were playing really good teams and they came really close to winning them. And also, here's another reason I picked them. If you look at the Jets quarterback, Trevor Siemian, and look at his stats, they're like incredibly bad. I was like, how could you possibly keep winning games with like 4 yards per attempt every single game? Well, they did again. Like, I don't get it. Like, Trevor Siemian won them like 3 games, throwing for like 4 yards per attempt. And the Patriots quarterback was even worse than Trevor Siemian in that week, so they lost. Um, okay. So this one, I guess I didn't. Did I know the Browns were resting their starters, but I picked them to win anyways? Hmm. I don't remember if I knew that they rested their starters, but they did, so I got that wrong. This one, I was just really high on the Bears because I looked at their last several games and they were like really good, but I guess they were just beating up on a bunch of bad teams, so that's fun. Um, and this one, at least I got that right. Um, I picked the Raiders because reasons. I don't even feel like going into it. Really? Why? I guess I just don't want to admit that basically it was just because I watched TFG's video where he ranked the Raiders like several spots ahead of the Broncos. But also, I know the Broncos have just been really bad the last several weeks, and the Raiders have been like okay, but not great. So I just thought they were slightly better there. And then, yeah, nobody could have predicted that one either. But now I'm going to basically predict that to continue for the Eagles. I'm just going to predict them to lose in the playoffs because they lost to the Giants and the Cardinals. Like, what? Come on, man. Um. So, yeah, both of these teams rested their starters because it's a little hard to predict that one. Unfortunately, I picked the wrong team. Both teams rested their starters in this game too, or at least the Chiefs rested their starters and they still barely won. And then Bills Dolphins got that right. It was mostly going off of TFG, but still. Okay. And then, so on the regular season, we now have the final win total for me. That's fine. We finally have my final. So we got 168 plus 10 is 168. And then we got 98 plus 6 is equal to 104. And there we go. On the regular season, I maintained a 62% win percentage. Or prediction success rate, or whatever you want to call it. Nice. Not bad. Maybe, I don't know. There you go. That's the whole regular season done. Now, we are going to do the playoffs. Okay. Wild card. We'll just do playoffs on one sheet. So playoffs. And then the first one is going to be wild card. I'm thinking about like, oh, should I add the playoffs onto the regular season, or should I do them separately, or both? Oh my gosh, I don't feel like doing any of this stuff. I'm not doing this again next year. Next year I'm gonna do something else. I'll probably do something football related on my channel next year, but it's not gonna be predicting every game. That was kind of a hassle. It was just kind of annoying to have to do that every single week. It wasn't. It was kind of fun, I guess, but a lot of the times it just felt like I was guessing and I didn't have enough information to really make it work. guess on every game. So it was just like I'm flipping a coin here on a lot of these. And I don't even watch the games. So this is how well you can do if you don't watch any of the games, but you only track the team's results on paper and you listen to a couple of podcasts. This is how well you can do with predictions. You can have a success rate of 62%. Well, that's at least better than flipping a coin. Flipping a coin would have gotten me around 50%. Oh my gosh. Dude, what if I just flipped a coin for an entire NFL season and just to see how well I did? Oh my goodness, dude. There was one person, I saw this one person who, like, for one of the NFL seasons, they flipped a coin for, like, an NFL team season, and the coin was correct for, like, the first 15 weeks of the season. It was pretty incredible. Okay. So we're gonna kind of put it up here a little bit so we have more space. So first of all, we have wild card round. There's gonna be way fewer games, only 7. And I've basically already made my predictions for these. I've thought about this already because basically a bunch of people are like talking about these games already. Obviously, they watched a bunch of content on it, and so anyways, that was funny. What music am I listening to? Stuff. Okay. Okay. So now, unfortunately, I don't want to just pick every single thing the same as TFG because he's like the main guy I listen to. He has good arguments for why he made all the picks that he did, and they make a lot of sense to me. But just I don't want to just be like, there's no point in doing this exercise if I'm not gonna like make some kind of original decision for myself, which is why I'm gonna pick 2 games differently from TFG. Now it's not like I don't believe that that's what's gonna happen or that those teams are favored. It's just that I feel a little bit like bad that I'm gonna pick against TFG on those games because he knows a lot more than I do. But but I really agree with his argument for the Browns Texans game, specifically like I think I probably would have picked the Browns even if I hadn't watched his video, but his video kind of reinforced it a little bit. Like, am I gonna really try to give actual commentary here? Like, it just basically comes down to the Texans. They're like a kind of surprise playoff team. Like, it's really cool that CJ Stroud had such a good season and he got the Texans to the playoffs, but I don't know if they're like a real, actual, like, good team. I mean, they're a good team, but they're not like a really good team. Nice commentary. Very good commentary. I should just shut up. You know what? I'm not going to give any commentary. This sucks. I'm just going to, like, I'll give like one sentence for each one after I type them all in. The last two are the ones where I'm differing from TFG. Okay, Browns because the reasons I just gave. Chiefs because the Dolphins have a lot of injuries. I think that's pretty much the only reason. Bills because the Steelers suck. Cowboys because the Packers kind of just squeaked into the playoffs and they're not as nearly as good of a team as the Cowboys. Like again, that's absolutely no commentary. That is nothing. Cowboys because they're a better team. So I'm going to pick against TFG on these last two games. He thinks the Rams match up really well against the Lions and that the Rams are like hot at the end of the season, and that is true because they have won 7 of their last 8 games, right? They started 3-6 and they went 10-7. So literally went 7-1 in the last 8 games. Pretty impressive, but I just don't know if they're really that as good as he thinks. I feel like TFG has been hyping up the Rams a little bit too much. They're still, if you look at TFG's graphics that they put up, their defense is still below average. And the Lions also don't have a good defense, but their defense is still better than the Rams, according to PFF. They both have really good offense, but the Lions just have literally, if you just look at the PFF grades, the Lions have better grades for both of them. So, and the Rams are, I don't know. So, we'll see what happens here. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in these two games. And Buccaneers, essentially that one is just because the Eagles are bad. Like, that's literally the only reason I'm picking them. TFG thinks that, yeah, the Eagles are bad, but they're not as bad as the Buccaneers. If you look at the last 2 games of the Buccaneers, they lost to the Saints, and then they barely beat the Panthers, which is not impressive at all. Eagles, their last 6 games or something, they lost all of them except for one against the Giants. The Eagles are just completely terrible. But so both teams are not good, right? But TFG thinks the Eagles aren't as bad as the Buccaneers, even though they've lost way more games. Like, technically, the Buccaneers have won 6 of their last 7 games or something like that. But I have to go against TFG on something, and I just feel like the Eagles are just extremely bad. Like, it doesn't even matter. I don't know. But think about this, though. Well, I guess it's not really an accomplishment to hold the Panthers to 0 points because it's the Panthers, so I guess I can't really give them credit for that one. I was going to say, the defense is good. The Eagles' defense is really, really bad. Like, maybe Baker Mayfield will have a really good day against the Eagles' defense. Okay, I'm just trying to justify my decision, but it really is just because I need to pick slightly differently than TFG, so I don't just I have actually something original to offer, so that's funny. Okay, so yep, there you go. That's it. I think. So there's my final regular season prediction success right there. And went 13-3 week 17, 10-6 week 18, and now we predict the playoffs wild card round. So there you go. That was fun. Wow.